Hi, art friends. We're going to be working on some bookmarks. I don't know why that was hard to say. I wanted to show you this. You know that if you follow any of my videos, I use a lot of Sharpies. This is the first week in August, and in 2022. This is a time that you can pick up Sharpies on different kinds of sales. So take a look because I use black Sharpies a lot. I got 2 of the ultra fine and 2 of the ones they call fine. So just a little heads up. Now is a good time to look for Sharpies. I love them. Okay, I'm going to be working on my Amazon Basics watercolor paper. This is 11 by 14. It had 30 sheets and it was less than $15 and I like it. It's a good paper. Is it professional quality? No, but it is a good cellulose type. If it has some cotton in it, it wouldn't surprise me, but I haven't found anywhere where it tells you the content, but it's a good paper and that's what we're using. Now, when I make bookmarks, I like 8 by 2, so 2 by 8 inches. I find that to be easy to mail, easy to tuck into a card. I mean, they're just handy for a lot of things, but I like those. Now you're going to see there's kind of a deckled edge, and I like that. So I think we'll work on, well, let's see how many I have. I've got 4, 5, 6, I think 7, 8. Yeah. So we'll do 4 at a time. And there don't necessarily have to be a set, but it would be fine. I've got my Jane Davenport watercolors, and this is the Brights collection. Now, since my palette, I know she's changed who makes this. This was made by American Crafts, and she doesn't work with them anymore. But I know you can still find the Brights color palette. I don't know if it's exactly like mine, but I've had mine for over 5 years and I just love them. And then the other watercolors that I'm going to be using, this is again American Crafts, but this was called Paper Fashions, and this is my metallics and shimmers. And there are so many different, because they don't do this company anymore. The American Crafts is around, but not the Paper Fashion collection. But there are so many good shimmers and metallics out there. So whatever you have, really, whatever watercolors you have, they'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and put my shimmers up here. And I think I'll move my brights over here. Maybe you can see it. I'm not sure. And it's not that I am too lazy to clean my palette. It's just that if you have a color there, you just have to reactivate it and that paint is still good. Now, shimmer paints and metallics, they take a little bit more, and I've used different brands and I found them all the same. I've heard artists say it's the same as well. They take a little more activation than other paints. The Jane Davenports don't always really need activation, but I just find that anytime I activate some watercolor, I'm never disappointed, but there's too many times that I haven't done it, and then I wish I had. I'm going to start out with my Grumbacher 8 round, and I just want to make some bright fantasy flowers, something cheerful, something pretty. So I'm going to start out with a couple of circles. I'm going to start with this one, and I want it to be wet, but not necessarily puddling. And I'm going to work right off of the edge of these. That's fine with me. So this is just a half circle over here, whereas up there I've got a whole circle. And I'm going to go ahead into this bright pink, and I'm going to just give it some of that pink, and then give it some pink over here. And then maybe I'll just drop in a little bit of pink that could be a bud later on. Now I'm going to go into the yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the middle, and this would be kind of the middle. I think I'm going to add just a little more pink to this side, but you can do this, right? This is easy. Sure you can. All right, there, that looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just pick up this blue. Now, to me, this is, I don't know, kind of between an ultramarine blue and a, oh, kind of a phthalo blue. And I'm just going to make some little petals. This flower is going to be facing sideways. This one I'll make all the way around. I'm purposely leaving the middle white, and obviously I'm not going for any kind of perfection, and I'm also not trying to imitate any flowers that are in real life. I'm just making some bright fantasy flowers. I want cheerful and I want colorful. That's my goals. And let's give it another blue one maybe here. Pretty blue. Yeah, I like that. And maybe I'll give it another half flower right here. And maybe this one has just a little bit of its petals showing on the other side. All right, I like that. Now I'm gonna make another circle here. And I'm gonna start out with a lighter purple. And I'm just making X's through the water. And now I'm gonna pick up a darker purple. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And just make some lines going through like that. And then maybe I'll give this one a little flower bud like that. Okay, I'm gonna let this one kind of dry and I'm gonna move on to the second one. And I'm gonna start again with a circle. And this time I'm going into kind of a red color. And I'm going to go into kind of a pinker, darker, kind of a magenta-y color. And I'm going to just add some of that in here, just dotting it around. And then for the very middle, I'll go ahead with yellow again. Why should we fight with tradition? We'll just give it a yellow center. And it may turn kind of orange, really. It's fine. I'm bringing it out a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to grab some green. I'm vacillating between I've got kind of a yellow green and more of a bluish green. And I'm just going to give it a quick line. I'm still using the same round brush like this. And I'm just going to give it some little leaves, just a little hint of some leaves. Maybe this coming out here like that. Leaves a little bit bigger, not too much. I'm going to put a leaf right at the end of these and just kind of make that a little bit wider. Okay, I'm liking that just fine. And I'm going to add, how about some yellow? How about a yellow flower? Maybe I'm gonna get a little bolder with a petal flower. Like that. And for its center, I'm going to go ahead and just dry up the middle a little bit. And I'm going to add some of that pink. And it might turn a little bit more towards orange, and that's fine. There, I like that. I think that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the pink. And let's see. Maybe I'm just going to dry instead of putting it wet and put some of these lines like this. Maybe another one. And maybe a half one. Maybe it's got just a few showing this way. And then I'm going to go into another pink. It's kind of, again, towards a magenta color, kind of. And I'm just kind of going in between, like that. Give it a few there. And put these in here. Definitely want some going between. Yeah, kind of just some fluffy little flowers. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I've never seen a flower like that, no doubt. But I see them in my mind. I like them. Okay, so for that green, I'm going to go into this light blue. Whenever I see this blue, it kind of reminds me of Wedgwood, you know? And I'm just putting some very tiny little flowery things in here. Nothing precision, but just along this green stem, like this. And some just kind of hiding. Just filling it in a little bit. A little more blue on my brush. And a little bit more. Okay, I like those. I think that looks good. All right, going on to my third one. And I'm going to start out with this kind of a rosy, pinky, reddy color. Now, I've not added water to it, but I'm just going to go ahead and give it a round one here, a round one here, and a round one here. And I'm going to take some of this pink, the brighter pink, and I'm just going on the inside, but I'm not filling it all the way in. I'm still leaving that middle. Yep. Okay, I like that. And then let's give this one some of this light blue, like this. And then I'm going to use that darker blue. Yeah, I like the feel of that one. Let's put another one of those maybe up towards the top. Aren't these bright and fun? I think so. Now I'm going to get that darker blue. And I'm not, you know, killing my brush to rinse it, because I don't care if I have some of the other blue in there or whatever colors I'm using at the time. It's really quite okay. All right, that looks good to me. Now this purple one, it's getting dry. I'm going to go ahead and give it a bit of a center and let that work on drying. And how about this last one? I'm going to move these over just a little bit. And I am going to start out with the light purple. You know what? I just rinsed that off. I'm going to go again with some wet circles. And this one will be more of a half circle. Okay. So I'm going in with the lighter purple and going around the edge. These are wet, but they're not puddly. I think puddly would be kind of hard on this paper. Good. Now I'm going to go into that darker purple and just put kind of an inner ring. And this one, I'll give it kind of like a half circle, or maybe kind of a elliptic or ovally kind of a shape. That'll be fine. And let's mix up. I'm going to take this pink. It's a bright pink. And I am going to give it some yellow and get some kind of an orange going. A nice bright orange. Good. All right. How about maybe just with dots, kind of a long flower, maybe reminiscent of a lavender, how it grows. But I like that. Yep, that's good. Okay, we need another kind of a flower. Well, here, I've got this orange here. Let's give this one of those orange flowers. Why not? Yeah, I like that. I'm just dotting. And one more. I like the way that filled in those spaces, don't you? Have any of you tried this Amazon paper or any of their other art supplies? They had pencils, which I've got colored pencils that I already like. I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow to that orange, and I'm going to put it in the middle here. I think they've got markers, but don't quote me on that. I know they have colored pencils, but I think they may have markers. And I'm not much of an alcohol marker user other than my black Sharpies. Okay, this one needs something more going on. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this pink and make a C shape and a C shape, and then bring out some C shapes, little thicker, little thinner, and that's going to be kind of a rosy one, and maybe a rosebud over here. And maybe a little rose here. Yeah, I'm liking that. Make it a little thicker. Okay. Now, they're kind of dry. I'm going to take some of the colors that I'm really liking, like this, let me get my brush wet, like this light purple. Now I don't want it too wet, but I don't want it too dry. I'm just grabbing any old brush and I'm going to make a mess with some splatters all over on top. Yep. And now I'm going to go into the light pink, the lightest pink, it's a bright pink, and give those some splatters. Yep. Festive. I like it. Okay. Now these are going to be drying a little bit from the splatters, and I'm going to switch out my brush. I've got a Princeton, and this is a number 2. Now I'm going to start working in some more leaves. So I've got this kind of a olive color, that I'm going to get started with. There's no reason we can't use this up. I'm just kind of trying to push it all into the middle. I'm not sure you can even see my palette, but I think you can. And just, all right, now I'm just going to work a little stem in here and give this some just basic leaf shapes, nothing crazy, nothing particularly difficult, adding just a little water. And some of these leaves are going to show more than others. I like that. Can you think of some ways that you could use some bookmarks? Now, these paints are not, as I say, a professional grade, but I have used, like I said, I've used this palette for literally years. And once they're dry, unless they get wet again, they don't move. So if someone tucks this into a book, I don't think they're going to have the least bit of trouble. I think it'll be just fine. All right, I like that kind of an olive green color. Now maybe we can add a few centers to these blue flowers. Kind of bring it up like, and I'm not necessarily obliterating all the white. And there's those. Very good. I'm going to pick up this yellow again. I'm going to mix it into this orange, but I'm not really expecting it to get too orange. A little bit goldenrod-y kind of a color. I'm going over to this one. I've got water on the ferrule, and I'm going to give it a yellow and a yellow and a yellow. Good. And I'm going to go into this pink and just move it around inside this purple a little bit. Give this a pink center. And this one's kind of sideways. There we go. I'm liking this so far. All right, let's get a little bit of green, adding it to this purple, and it should kind of give me a brownish tint. And it did. And I'm going to just dot this around that guy. And I'm going to make a center, a little more paint. Center here, center here, center here. Good. I'm going to add some around this blue. Like that. A lot of flowers have multicolored centers. All right, now I'm going to keep going with this brown and into this sort of a stemmy thing. I'm just going to put the brown that it's kind of like its little inner flowers, you know, the ones that are a little bit in the shadows. The ones that have been shaded. I'm going to do the same on this last one. And just add some brown in the middle. I like that. I may bring this like right up to the top here. This one looks darker, and maybe it's been open for a while and it's kind of on its way out. So there's more brown showing, but this is just the shadowy ones. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to go into, I've got a flower, I just saw it, that needs a center. Now, where did I see that? Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. Must be, because I've lost it wherever it was. All right, I'm going to add, see, so touch more of that green. And that went to that avocado, so I'm going to add a touch of red. Ooh, that turned into kind of a wine color. Well, that's all right. I'm going to go around these yellow centers and just kind of punch them up a little bit. This one too. Yeah, I'm going to go in this one. And this one, I think I'll just do dots. Just some little dots all the way around. Good. Yep. All right. More green. Going into this darker green. It looks like it would be, oh, I don't know, almost in the turquoise family. I'm going to move this just for fear that you can't really see it. Maybe I can slide these over just a touch. And let's get into this green. And I'm going to give this one a more robust kind of a leaf. Kind of a small brush for this. Well, that's all right. It'll give me a different painterly look. Yep, that's fine. I'll give this just a little peak of a leaf there. And then maybe a leaf that's kind of going off the side here. I'm sticking with the painterly look. Let's see. Let's give this one a heart-shaped leaf. Yeah. Where am I? This one. Oh, wrong. I think this is the green. Yeah, that's fine. And maybe just one that's sticking out, but you can't see the whole leaf. Okay. Now I'm going to add just a touch of this green, that yellowy green. Add some more of that darker green. And let's give this one a leaf that's kind of a rough leaf. Right off the center here. It's got kind of a rough edge. Yep. All right. Going back in that color, we'll give it another leaf here. It almost looks like I'm adding evergreen, but I just want it to be kind of a rumply leaf instead of a perfectly smooth leaf like that. All right, that's good. And then I'm just going to put a little greenery to dry. Little bit of this greenery right here. And we'll add a little here. I like that just fine. Maybe bring it a little one out here. And I'm making one side of the leaves larger and the other one smaller. And that just gives the vine like a different twist. Okay. Here's the middles that I was talking about. I knew I still had some centers. Well, that's all right. Let's get some more of this dark green, and I'm going to add a nice heart-shaped leaf here. Yep. And I'm going to give this one a little different color in it. Mix that in there. And maybe a heart-shaped leaf here. And this bud. So I need to put some green around it. And we'll just give it a stem. And maybe we'll put a little heart-shaped leaf coming off of here. You can tell nothing's perfect about this. And I did try to bring you in closer because I knew this would be a little bit finer work. All right, now, these painterly leaves with all the white, I'm just taking my wet brush, no color, and filling them in, and that's gonna give it just some different colors, green within the greens. All right, these guys, these long flowers, I'm adding more of this dark green, and I'm going to add yellow. I'm not even going to add that light green. I'm just adding yellow. Okay. What other color can I add to that? Let's try a little bit of this light blue. I'm just trying to, get another color of green. And I just knocked a little bit of water that was on the ferrule. All right, so this and here and here. Maybe some long leaves. Give it a long leaf that's right up and behind here. Another one that's heading up behind here. Another long leaf. Like that. How about these guys? Yep. Now, yellow green, dark green. And let's get some of these long flower leaves on here. It's kind of reminding me maybe of cattails. Who knows? Long leaf here. leaf here. All right, I'm doing good with this. All right, rinsing out the brush with the green and setting it aside, going back to my number 8 round, making it wet, dabbing it off, and now I'm just going to take water right over these rose-like. And I'm not trying to bring up necessarily a lot of the pink. I'm just letting it fill in and create its own shades. And that's all I'm going to do with that. And let's see. I think I'd like a little more green up in here. I'm going to add yellow to this. And just give this one a simple leaf. A simple leaf here. And maybe a leaf that's kind of coming off of this. Yeah, I like that. And this one could use some more leaves. I'll give this one a little bit of a stem here. And then this little bud. Good. And a little more green here. And maybe a little bit more green here. Okay, this one looks good to me. This one looks good to me. This one, I don't know. I feel like we've got a bit of a space in here. I'm just going to add a little viney guy. And then maybe a couple of shoots like that. And maybe a couple of shoots like that. Oh, I already like that better. I'm going to do the same thing here. Just add some green grasses, kind of. Let's put some up here. Yep. Green grasses here. Green grasses here. Yes. Okay. These are looking good. Now I'm switching palettes. So I'm going to just give this a close, and I'm going to move this because I think you can see it over there. And I'm going to add some of these metallics. So I'm going to start out with this kind of a bronzy gold. And I'm just going to add to these blue. I'm going to add some gold to there. Like that. Same gold. I think I'll put it in here. And let's see. I think I'm gonna put some lines coming out of this in the gold. It's a little water. And a little more here. That looks good. All right. And then maybe for this one, I'm just going to add the gold right in the middle. And then maybe I'll just add a few little gold dots in here. Like that. Okay. So I've got gold on here. I'm going to switch to this more sparkly gold. And you know, when I use these paints, I'm almost using them more like a gouache. Kind of a thicker, creamier, not a watery, transparent kind of a look. And I'm going to put a circle, half circle around these centers and a little bit in here. And then I'm going to add some of this into these dotty ones and give them a little sparkle. I'm going to do the same to these. And I'm going to write out, bringing that tip out. So you can see some white within the orange, but you can also see the brown, and now you can see the gold. But the gold, you know, the light's got to be in the right place. It's going to be sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, but most of the time you will. This is a pretty shiny gold. All right, so I've got metallic on those. I've got just the centers there. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to go back into this bronzy gold, and I'm going to give some lines to this one. I had some water rush down the ferrule and wash me right out. And I'm going to go into this yellow, which is a shimmery yellow, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of this. And right in the middle of that one. I think I'm going to do the same with this yellow with dots in that one. And maybe some yellow in these. Get a little more. And I put like a half circle gold. I'll finish the circle with the yellow. And then this one will just have some in there. Okay, very good, very good. I'm going to take the green. There's a green shimmer in this right here. And let's see what I can, because you have got to scrub a little bit to get this off. And I don't know if you can see in my palette here or not. Let's get a little more. And I'm just working it and then bringing it over here. Now I'm getting somewhere. Again, no fault of the paint. This is just how these are. Okay. And I think I'm kind of wringing my brush out. I think I want to add just a touch of what? Yellow? It still looks green, which is good. I want it to be green. I'm going to add some more of that green. And now I'm going to add just a touch of this coppery color. I don't even know if I'm going to... Yeah, okay, I'm getting some on my brush. All right, that looks good to me. Now, not sure how far this is going to go, but we'll find out in a moment, and I'm going to do some more splatters. They're subtle, but they're there. Okay. I'm going to just load up my brush with some of this green. Okay. Good and good. Now, these little blue guys, I'm just going to go in with the bright shiny gold, and I'm going to mix in some of this yellow shimmer, and I'm going to put that combination in these. Too wet? Try again. It'll dry. That'll dry. I'm not worried about it. And there. Okay. What am I thinking? I think I'm going to add some more to these centers. Yeah. That made me happier. Okay, good. I'm done with the paint on these. So I'm going to just give this a close. Now, I am going to really kind of got off to one side. I hope you've been able to see. I am going to give these a quick dry. Won't take me long. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm done. Now, for some black kind of highlighty things. Now, I have been wrestling, I'm sorry I'm reaching, with some of these Sharpies for a little while, and the time has come that if it's going to give me a hard time, it's going out. So let's just see what we've got here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set aside some and then just kind of work on one at a time. All right, let's give this a go. I think this one got turned around. Sure did. Got a wet spot right there, and I just picked it up with my finger. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start out by making a circle on this, and then I'm going to put some lines. And I'm going to put a circle on the end of each of these lines. Again, fantasy flowers. Okay, let's see about this one. We'll do the same thing. I think this is going to really punch this up. Make them just more exceptional. And this is just doodling. This is not hard. Don't make it out to be hard. All right, so this purple one, I'm just gonna go like this and turn it into a petaled flower. And I'm gonna go around the center. That's good. It has a little bud here that didn't put any green on, but I'm just gonna do that. Here's another bud. And I'm not outlining it like a coloring book. I'm just adding a few little details here and there to a good number of these. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of black, not to all, but just to perk that up. I'm gonna go ahead and outline these heart leaves. Yep. And here's a leaf, just going off to the side. Another leaf. And another leaf. Okay, I think these blue ones, I'm going to go around the centers, and I'm just going to go around the petals, not being exact. Oh, added a petal that wasn't even there. It's all right. Okay, I think these could use a little something. I'm just adding a few details to these leaves. All right, we're going to call that done now. I'm going to bring another one and see what you think in comparison. Can you see a difference? See, I do like this better. All right, this guy, I'm going to do kind of similar here, because these aren't going to land in the same place. So there's no reason why there can't be some similar designs. And you can see how fast. This isn't taking hardly any time at all. And these little guys, I'm really not paying attention to the petals versus the blue. Good, good, good. All right, this yellow guy, I'm going to do in every other petal. And now these petals are not going all the way to the middle. This one's kind of a splitty one, but see that that one ended. And then I'm just going to put more lines around the middle and then some dots. I think that's good. I think I'm going to circle out the center of these, And then I'm just going to add some black lines. Like that. All right, I think these need a little something. A few real faint black here up here. Add some black dots. Yeah, I like what that did. Yes, sirree. I'm happy with that one. So now we can compare again. I think this one's supposed to go this way. Look at that. You can see the difference. And you know what? Go ahead and tell me in the comments. Do you like the ones on the right without the black detail better? You might. Or do you like the ones that I put the black detail on? Let me know. And let's do this one. Now this one has the roses, and I don't think I'm going to do anything to the roses. And same with these stocky things. I'm not going to really do anything with that. And I'm going to put some little petals like this right around the center. Like that. And I think I'm going to give this one some petals like this. Yep. And then just some petals. And then maybe just a line coming out between each one. You can do this. This is not hard. And maybe I'll put a couple lines coming out of that one. I'm just making it up as I go. And you might be saying, well, Julie, oh, we get that, dear. Well, okay. But it's the truth. Leaf here. Yep. I like that. I'm just wondering about these guys. I think I'm going to add some black dots. Not a lot. I think it needs it. Alrighty then. I'm liking that. Yep. Okay, last one. So, I'm very interested If you think you're going to make some bookmarks, I'm obviously going to make some more because I've got another 4 waiting to be made. But I think that you have already gotten the idea kind of how I do this. And you can go ahead and do the same thing. You sure can. Just some fantasy flowers. And they're so fun. At least I think they're very fun. And you know, don't overthink it. Don't worry about what it is you're doing. Just get some marks out there. They're fantasy flowers. They're whatever you say they are. You are the queen of the flowers for the day. And it's however you perceive that they would be, then that's exactly how they are. No rules, no right, no wrong. Maybe you want to just work on some fantasy flowers in your art journal. Go for it. Just go for it. Little puffy blue flowers, adding some of the dots to these long stalky flowers. I hope they smell wonderful. All right, I'm going to add some black to some of these leaves. You can see I am not adding a lot. Just a little black here and there, here and there. And we've got a leaf coming out here. What do we think? All right, let's take a look. I think we made 4 very nice bookmarks. I like them so well. I'm signing them all. I hope you found this helpful, fun, entertaining. Get your watercolors out. Get some paper out. Get in it. You know, you could use mixed media paper. You need a heavier paper, but mixed media paper, printing paper. I wouldn't use printer paper from your printing machine. I think that's a little too thin, but just, you know, maybe 140 poundish paper, and make yourself some of these. They're wonderful to tuck into a greeting card or underneath the bow of a present. If you found this helpful or entertaining, give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now.